Hey everyone, it's the Mortgage King, and today's video is going to be based on speed. A topic that comes my way a lot is how quickly can you close? One of the questions that I get typically from not only first-time buyers but even experienced buyers is how quickly can you close? And typically sometimes they want to pick which loan officer they prefer to work with depending on that answer is how quick they can close. Here's the truth to that question. The question itself comes from a place of lack of knowledge. So that's the whole purpose of this video, is to kind of give you guys the information as to how the mortgage process works. So whenever we get that question, how quickly can we close, it really depends. Every file is not the same. So I mean, we have loans that close within like 7 days. We also had loans that closed in 60 days. It all really depends on the situation, on the actual file itself. So now this video is also geared towards, your regular conventional FHA and VA files, also with your non-QM files. Hard money loans are a bit different, but the information in this video can also be geared towards hard money loans. Not all the time, but you'll get the gist. So how it works is it depends on if everybody is in line, if everybody's also moving fast. It's not just the lender. Even though there's an idea within the industry that the lender is the reason for the speed of the transaction, that's completely false. When you purchase a home, there's a lot of people who are involved in your purchase transaction, not just your lender. So you have your mortgage lender, obviously. You also have a title company that's helping you out. There's a listing agent. Hopefully there's a listing agent. If it's for sale by owner, then that individual has to help with the purchase as well. Whenever there's an addendum needed for whatever reason, corrections on the contract. So you have people, you have your real estate agents that are involved, your title agent that's involved, you have your lender, obviously, that's involved. A home inspector is involved, homeowners insurance agents are involved, an appraiser's involved, and that pretty much sums up the amount of different people that are going to be helping in the purchase transaction. And of course, that's not including anybody else. That's just your typical people that are involved. Sometimes there's different attorneys that are involved, depending on the actual situation. Sometimes it's not even a professional that's involved. It's just someone who's in the buyer's family or the seller's family who thinks they know about real estate and they want to get involved. And so everybody has a say in the purchase transaction. It's not just the lender. And that's important to note, because again, people would ask, hey, how quickly can you close? If everybody's working fast, we can close within 7 days. Realistically, everybody doesn't really work that fast, or everybody doesn't make one file a priority. People already have a system and a pipeline already with current loans in action, and they typically don't make that one file a priority. But of course, if need be, we can close loans within 7 days. So that's the answer to that question, is to how quickly can you close. Typically, now we're talking realistically, not trying to beat records or anything like that. How quickly can you close? On your normal transaction, it's going to probably be about 30 days, 15 to 30 days. Now, one thing that buyers should know is that they're involved in the speed of the transaction as well. And sometimes they forget that. So if you're a buyer and you're under contract, the minute you've signed a contract and the contract is valid, you're basically on a timeline, and every minute, every hour, every day counts. There's deadlines to meet on your contract. The deadline for depositing your escrow deposit, for example. There's a deadline to get your appraisal back. There's a deadline so that your lender can issue a conditional approval by a certain time. And so the speed in which you send in documents requested by your lender also determines on how quick that lender can close. So for example, if you get a initial letter, hey, I just got your contract, go ahead and send me these documents so that we can prep your file up for an underwriter review. If you take a week, those are days that are lost. And one thing everybody in a transaction should know is that unlike real estate agents or unlike anybody else, maybe just like a title company as well, is lenders don't typically have as much time as what's set on the contract. So if there's a contract that has a 30-day closing period, for example, and we're in a month like January, we'll use January for example, that has holidays. So weekends are closed, and holidays are national holidays are closed as well. So underwriters aren't working on these days. So that gives lenders less time than the 30 days on the contract. So just a quick tip: if you're a buyer and your lender's asking you to sign a document or to send in documents or copies of your ID or whatever the case is, do it as quickly as possible so that your lender can have some time to gather everything up and send it back to underwriting. And maybe I'll do a different video at a different time for underwriting and what that actually is. But in a nutshell, just a quick tip is the lenders don't have as much time as what's stated on the contract. So in your mind, you probably think, hey, I've been, we had 30 days to close this or whatever the case is on your specific contract. The lender doesn't have that much time because we're excluding weekends and we're excluding national holidays. And so the lender has a very short time frame to close loans regardless. But that pretty much concludes what this video was about. It's about time. How quickly can you close? Quick tips on buyers. If you want the process to go a lot smoother, send in documents as quickly as possible. Everything is time sensitive in a buyer's transaction. As a buyer, everything is time sensitive. Whatever your loan officer is requesting, send it in as quickly as possible. Don't wait for that night. Don't wait for tomorrow morning. Just send it in as quickly as possible to give your lender some time to review, because sometimes the lender has to review it before they send it into underwriting, just so they can avoid opening up a can of worms. Those are my quick tips. That's a quick video on how speed affects a transaction, and how quickly, whenever somebody asks how quickly can you close, those are my 2 cents. It really depends on everybody in the transaction. How quickly is the appraiser moving? How quickly can you get a home inspection? How quick is your insurance agent at issuing you an insurance? And if you're in an HOA, that's another party that's involved. How quickly can your HOA provide you an approval to actually live in the HOA? How quickly can you apply for the HOA? All these different things come into play. How quickly is your title company checking for liens and issuing estoppels? And things of that nature. So it's not just the lender that's involved in deciding how quickly they can close, it's the other parties that are involved as well. So that's the conclusion of the video. It's the Mortgage King, so you know who said it.